Hey, it's time for our Central Ozarks Medical Center weekly high school basketball coaches show right here on Lake TV. And it's Versailles week. Hey, it is a reunion of Versailles grads. Wyatt, Espinosa, Andy Moon, both the boys and girls, had basketball coaches. And yeah, guys, it's like a school reunion here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. What year did you graduate?
I'm going to age myself, but 09, year before you.
Yeah. That's what I couldn't remember if it was a year or two. So.
And then like 30 years later, this guy graduates. But really cool. You don't see it a lot, but where you go back to where you played and you take the head coaching job and change the culture, and that's what you guys are doing in Versailles. We're going to start with you, Coach Moon. I was looking at your guys' schedule because I saw 419. I'm like, I wonder who they're playing. And I noticed you guys have 3 teams you've played with losing records. So you have had a really tough schedule, and I want to talk about how your girls have improved, even maybe when the wins haven't stacked up this year.
Yeah, we played a very tough schedule. Like I said, there was a couple teams in our conference that were ranked in the top 10 at one point in time this year. We played Boonville early on, Class 14, that I think they're still ranked in the top 10. Tri-county teams, they've all been playing well and producing wins. So we stacked it pretty good this year. The girls have faced that challenge. There's been a few games that we kind of, I would say, don't show up for, but I mean, we showed up and played. Majority of the teams and majority of the games were fairly competitive or really close. So, I mean, they've been growing and improving all year long. We just played Iberia last week, another good squad, and down 10 to start the fourth quarter and cut it to 3. So, and then lost by 8. So, I mean, we've been battling with a lot of teams, which hopefully is going to lead to good things come district time.
Yeah, you want to be playing your best. And when you've played all those great teams, it does. It prepares you. Now, Coach Espinosa, you guys have had an up and down season, but I saw recently a 5-game winning streak in January. What went right during that stretch for you guys? Like, what clicked?
We were just playing together, and we had conference and district opponents at that time, and we knew that they were big games. So we just stepped up and played together and played as a team. Different guys stepped up each night, and that's ultimately what we needed at that time.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can stack wins, but 5 in a row in January, that'll get you going. All right, so if you could sum up this season up to this point in time, maybe in one word, what would that be and why, Coach Moon?
One word? That's tough. I would say growth. I've got a lot of young girls on the team, young ladies, I guess I should say. We only have 3 seniors, and then, I mean, the rest of our core is sophomores and juniors, and 2 freshman girls that play varsity minutes as well.
Wow.
So we'll have a lot of returners next year, and I think what they have learned and grown from this year will help us in the future.
Yeah, growth. I like that. Coach Espinosa, how about for you? One word for this year's season up to this point in time, and why?
I would say, similar to Coach Moon, probably maturity. We got a group of young and old, and our older guys, they still don't have, or they didn't have much experience at that time. And so between our young guys maturing and our old guys maturing as well, that's probably where I'd go with that.
Yeah, great. I like that. All right, so hey, we're going to take our first commercial break, but we're just getting started on this week's COMC High School Basketball Coaches Show. We got Coach Moon and Coach Espinosa with the Versailles Tigers. We'll be right back after this.
What? Like and follow.
Phones are very distracting. Which is why Missouri now has a law against holding a phone while driving.
Dude, what are you doing? You can't hold your phone while driving.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Buckle up.
At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers pediatrics at 2 lake locations and 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic, offering same-day appointments. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone, whether you live at the lake or just here visiting. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're in the middle of our President's Sale, and it's doorbuster time. We've got buy a sofa, get a recliner for free. We've got Bisectional for $9.99. Get the free ottoman. And we've got Lazy Boys for $2.99. And that's just a snippet. You need to come check it all out at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
We're back on your Central Ozarks Medical Center weekly high school basketball coaches show right here on Lake TV. And it is Versailles Tigers week as we get ready for district tournament. Coach Espinosa, Coach Andy Moon here. And we kind of talked about, having young players and old players. But let's talk about that mix a little deeper on your guys' team. Coach Moon, talk about the mix of leaders that are maybe older and some of those freshman girls getting minutes.
Okay. Senior point guard Brooke Anderson. She's been playing very well recently. I think against Iberia she had 22, so she does a lot for us offensively. Sarah Bland, she comes off the bench. She's also a senior. She does a very good job at being vocal and talking defensively and on offense and trying to help some of those younger girls or at least get them in the right positioning or at least talking. And then, like I said, I've got good mix of juniors and sophomores, but the freshman, Addie Francis, she's been playing some good minutes. She can step in at that point guard role next year. She's not as vocal, but she's working on it. And then Bristol Moore, she's the other freshman. She's, 6 foot, 6'1"-ish. She's vocal. Wow. She's vocal all the time. So we kind of give her a hard time or joke with her. Some of the girls do about her being loud or always asking questions or talking, but I love it. So
as a coach, you probably love that, especially from a freshman, right?
Yeah, I would much rather have a kid like that where they're talking and asking questions, and at least they're moving and talking instead of just being quiet. So she's matured a lot this year, and she's grown a lot in the game of basketball this year. So I look for big things for her in the next few years.
Super. And Coach Espinosa, I caught actually a couple of the games on Lake TV with you guys this year and talk about, you guys got scores and seniors and juniors, but you also got freshmen. Talk about your mix in particular because, man, you got some great players on your roster.
Well, yeah, we have a couple freshmen that get in the mix that they are very talented and they're developed. Most people, if you look at them, you probably wouldn't think that they're freshmen. And then we have a sophomore, Jacob Vansel, that really gets in the mix. A few juniors, and then we have 5 seniors that, I love them to death, and they're just willing to do anything. Braden Albrick, he's our leading scorer, and he's really stepped up defensively. I just really appreciate the work that he's done, especially here lately. And then we got a lot of other guys that just, like Joey Bertelli, he leads the team in assists, and defensively, we're asking him to guard the other team's best player almost every single night. Ben Peck, he goes in there defensively and he'll knock down a shot. Ty Morrison's really stepped up. He'll defend anywhere you ask him and he'll knock down a few shots. And same thing with Dalton Reza. He'll step in and he'll defend, rebound, do everything you ask, and then he'll knock down 1 or 2 threes a game. And it's just, I'm very appreciative of our seniors and the sacrifices that they make game in and game out and what they do for our team.
Yeah, and it takes like a good mix too, and you hope you have those senior leaders, especially like both of you. You got freshmen that are getting serious minutes, and you want those seniors to kind of show them the way. All right, so since we're talking about rosters and teams, I got to find out, has there been maybe one player in particular for either of you or both of you who has kind of exceeded expectations this year, maybe kind of giving you a bigger contribution than you had thought? Coach Moon?
Yeah, I would say Lily Gwinnett. I have always known it's there. Like, she's just that type of hard-nosed, hard-working kid in the weight room, open gyms. Like, she just puts her head down and works. She's really surprised me this year. Anytime I throw her in a varsity game, she's just a sophomore, so she doesn't start yet, but I throw her in, and I bet she averages 4 or 5 steals a game. Like, she's just that type of kid on defense. Like, she goes and gets it.
Sure.
So
and that's satisfying, right?
Yeah.
As a coach?
It's fantastic. She's kind of one of those does the dirty work, so to speak. She'll go rebound. She'll get steals, and then she's been scoring well the last couple games. When we played Chillicothe, she hit 4 threes for us in that game, and then the other night against Iberia, I think she had 2 threes and then a couple free throws and 2 field goals. So she's really come a long way, and I look forward to see her progress the rest of the year and into next year.
That's awesome. I see your mind's racing, your juices are flowing after that. What do you got on the guys' side? Who's exceeded expectations this year?
That's a really tough question because a lot of our guys have really stepped up. It's just a tough question. Joey Bertelli, I think from last year, we knew defensively and rebounding he was going to be there, but this year offensively he stepped up and he started to hit shots. And I say that because last year he hit one three all year, and then this year he's had games where he's hit 2 or 3.
That's awesome.
And so that's a big deal for him, and when we can get him in the scoring category, that makes us really tough. And then Randy Taylor, he's a junior who started playing basketball last year, and he's came in our 5-game stretch when we won 5 games in a row. He had big minutes and made some big plays in those games. So, that's a tough question for my boys because they've all stepped up in a big way.
Yeah, all right. So as we wind down on the season, I know there's still a lot to be determined. You're headed into districts, but I wanted to touch on something that I said this before we started recording, and Coach Moon said, Will, we're in our mid-30s. We're not young anymore, so you don't get to answer this one. You're right. I was like, hey, we're still kids. No, Coach Moon and I are not still kids, but Coach Espinosa, you're a younger head coach, and there can be pros and cons with that. So talk about, new in your second year, talk about what it's like, being a younger head coach.
I am solely blessed and honored to be able to be the head coach at Versailles. But sometimes, and I feel like it's been a long time, but a lot of people still see you as the guy you were whenever you went to school. And, and I don't regret anything that I've ever done, but I'm not a kid anymore, and I hate being treated like a kid, really. And I hate whenever people think I'm the same person that I was in high school, honestly. But then being able to still be active and get involved with practices and have high energy, that is a big advantage of being young and kind of new to the head coaching role.
Yeah, it could be tough, like you said, because people knew you from your youth, which for you wasn't as long ago, but like anybody, you hope they grow and they learn. And we're not the same person we were, so it's always cool and super glad to see you guys both back at Versailles. All right, so I asked you about players that have exceeded expectations. Now I got to find out as we head into district, where do you guys expect your team to stack up? I know yours is kind of already determined, but Coach Moon, as you guys head in with 2 games left, of course, Blair Oaks Monday, but where do you expect your team?
The good thing about our district, we played everybody except for Windsor out of the 6 teams. So, Stover game, we played them. I think we led the entire game until the last 2 or 3 minutes. They're the 1 seed. Cole Camp we split with. Warsaw we beat. Holden, I think we once again led about the entire game until the last few minutes. So we can compete with everybody in our district, which is a good feeling going into district time, is like there's not a dog sitting there at the top like, okay, well, we're playing for second, so I'm just excited. I'm ready to get to districts. I think our girls will play very well. I know they are kind of down on themselves a little bit this year, and they feel like they've left a lot on the table, especially a few games that we've dropped that we should have won. Like I said, Stover, Cole Camp, Holden, a few of those. So I'm excited to get in district time, see what we can do. Our district's pretty open for the most part, so between 1 and 6, I think it's anybody's ball game.
And you guys feel similar on the guys' side. Of course, you guys are going to get Sherwood to start. You know that. You put a thumping on them earlier this year. But you kind of feel the same way, right? Your guys' district is wide open.
Absolutely. We are, similar to what Coach Moon said. We've played everybody but Windsor in our district. And Windsor's a very good team, and they ended up getting the 1 seed in the district. But all the games that we played, and not that it means anything, but it does kind of give you a little bit of confidence, is that when we played the teams that we've played in the district, not only have we beat them all, but we were up by double digits at halftime. So that gives us a little bit of boost of confidence there. But not only that, we have an opportunity this Friday to win our conference. If we beat El Dorado Springs, we can be conference champs with that. But right after that district, so we got a lot of big games coming up, and it's going to be fun to see how it all shakes out.
All right, so we're not quite done on the other end. Before we go, we're going to talk to Coach Moon and Coach Espinosa about their favorite TV show of all time, what they think about the Winter Olympics, and we're going to ask them how they unwind during a long, tedious high school basketball season. When we return to our COMC High School Basketball Coaches Show right here on Lake TV.
Lake life starts here. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we know that buying or selling a lakefront property is more than just a transaction. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter that we strive to make easy, from listing to closing. In a competitive market, we showcase your property to the masses online with LakeExpo.com, returning unmatched visibility. And if you're ready to buy that lake house, our team lives and breathes the lake lifestyle, so we know what this chapter is all about. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we believe in community, cherishing those lasting memories, and helping make your lake dream a reality. Check us out online to find lake properties. No logins, no distractions, just pure, unfiltered lake views and options. Lake Expo Real Estate, where we are ready to be a part of your next chapter.
For our Lake area teams, they've got their eye on the prize this season with big aspirations.
And basketball can be similar to driving, where sometimes it can be a matter of focus and attention.
Distracted driving led to over 25 fatal crashes on Missouri roadways in 2024 alone.
So be a part of the solution and not another statistic.
Always remember to buckle up and put your phones down. This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, injury attorneys.
All right, as we welcome you back to your weekly coaches show right here on Lake TV, brought to you by COMC. Coach Espinosa, Coach Moon with the Versailles Tigers. Time to have a little fun. I want to find out, we already asked you about your TV show. I want to find out completely different. How about your favorite movie of all time? Coach Espinosa?
That's a tough one. So I am a Marvel fan. I like the superhero movies, but favorite movie?
That's tough.
It's probably a sport movie. I can't.
Remember the Titans.
That was a good one. I actually watched that recently.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Moon, while he's thinking.
Mine, I'm a nerd, hands down, Lord of the Rings trilogy, any of the three.
I love both you guys going the sci-fi, you know.
I'm a big Marvel fan too. I've seen almost all of them, but I would say it's hard to beat the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you might not have known that about these coaches right here. All right, I want to know, what do you guys think, and have you been watching the Winter Olympics?
Yeah, I've seen mostly highlights. I haven't had time to really watch much, but I never really got into it as much as I have this year. And some of that stuff is extreme.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing some of the injuries that come out, I completely understand, because that is some extreme sports.
Yeah, same with him. I really haven't had time to sit down and watch, but usually in the mornings I catch some of the highlights and stuff, and like the Lindsey Vonn injury and some of that stuff, man. It's brutal.
Isn't it wild how you couldn't really care less about these sports most of the time, right?
Yeah.
But then every 2 or 4 years, when you see them wearing the red, white, and blue and having success, you see their story, their corner, it's like kind of, makes you feel a little national pride.
Yes.
All right, so I want to know, basketball seasons are long. Listen, you guys, you got families, you don't even have time to watch the Olympics. So during a long high school basketball season, how do you unwind? How do you relax or get away? Or do you? Coach Espinosa, we'll start with you.
Fortunately, you're right, it is long, and it's like 4 months, but there's some holidays that go in there, so it helps out to get a little break. But I coach baseball in the spring, and that helps, but I completely remove myself after the season for about a month, and then I start getting plans ready for summer and all that, and I get my mind set on the next year. But I have to completely remove myself, because if not, then I'll get thinking about our last loss or whatever it was, and it'll get me a little frustrated. But that's probably the best way I can.
I think that's healthy. Coach Moon, how about you?
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. Once districts is over, or our season comes to an end, the month of March is kind of a reset month. Luckily, I'm a big outdoors guy too, so April and May roll around, and then it's time for crappie fishing and spring turkey hunting and stuff like that to kind of spend the time and unwind and do something. But during those months, like Coach Espinosa said, we're starting to gear up and get ready for all of our summer stuff as well. So
all All right,
that's about it. So.
Gentlemen, I appreciate it. We're wrapping up the season. Good luck the rest of the way, and thank you for your time on this week's High School Basketball Coaches Show. That's Coach Moon and Coach Espinosa. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go Tigers.